Alright, so I wanted to make this video because I just watched SRB2 Dude's Splatoon 3 is dying video, quote unquote. If you haven't seen that, you can go check it out. I'm not really going to talk about the Splatoon 3 is dying debate thing that happened on Twitter 2 weeks ago, because that's not really what my video is going to be about. I did see a part of his video where he talked a lot about content creation, and content creation's always been a topic in Splatoon I've been really interested in. Obviously, as someone who streams a lot myself and someone who's been making videos for a couple days, I am very interested in content creation and obviously the way it impacts the scene. And I just want to talk about it for a little bit because I think it is probably one of the most important things we as players can do to grow the competitive scene. So I want to talk about it for a bit. Also, by the way, it is my birthday today. So if you want to give me a sub for my birthday, I mean, you can. But you know, when we hit that 50 subscriber special, man, and you're not there, yeah, you're gonna be regretting it when you didn't sub. I'm just telling you. So anyways, I want to talk about content creation because I think content creation is really important, because if you don't have people content creating, you don't really have more people getting into the scene, because there really isn't a lot of ways to find competitive Splatoon unless you like go out of your way to find it, right? YouTube is like kind of the only way that a lot of people are going to get introduced to it. Like, unless you play Splatoon a lot and you're like, I want to know how to get good at this, and you search up how to get good at Splatoon and everything like that, and find Sendo Inc. and all this other stuff, like, you're not really going to see the comp scene. Which is why I think content creation is just that much more important. And it sucks because there's really a big lack of content creators, at least in the Western scene. And by content creators, I mean competitive content creators. I don't mean like casual content creators, because obviously there's a bunch of casual content creators. I'm talking about competitive Splatoon content creators. And it kind of sucks because it's really easy to start making competitive Splatoon content, especially if you're a top level player. If you're a top level player, it is so easy to make Splatoon competitive content. So let me just go through the steps on how to make Splatoon competitive content really fast. All right, step 1, stream. There's so many people in this community that have a capture card. I know personally, for me, it's just the way I play the game. That's how I get my audio, is from my capture card. The first step you can do is just stream whenever you have a scrim. Stream whenever you do a tourney. Stream yourself playing X-Rank. There's a lot of people who do this, but there's still a lot of people who don't. And I think it's really important, if you're getting interested in this game, that you stream. Because I'm going to go into this a little bit later. You literally cannot make a living off of this game by playing it to win tournaments. Like, that's just not possible. And I know a lot of people aren't interested in making a living off this game. It's probably not the reason you chose this game specifically to play. But if you want to make like any money off this game at all, then like you got to become a content creator. Like, I don't even think like the people who win tournaments, like the Nintendo ones, and sell their prizes to like the highest bidders, even get like a fraction of the amount you'd need to like actually make a living off this game. There's a lot of people who do step 1, but there's not a lot of people who do step 2, which is upload the VOD to YouTube. Now, the big problem with Twitch, well, actually, there's 2 big problems with Twitch. The one big problem with Twitch is that it's very hard to discover people on there. And chances are, if you stream a tournament run and someone finds you on Twitch doing the tournament run, it's because they were already watching the tournament in the first place. There's not going to be a lot of people who get into competitive Splatoon from watching, you know, a certain top player's tournament run on this specific tournament, because they probably wouldn't have found it unless they were, you know, already watching the tournament from some other source or heard about it beforehand. But the second big problem with Twitch is that like every 3 months, your VODs on Twitch just get permanently deleted. So whatever you streamed, you know, whatever scrim or tournament or X-Rank session you had, all of it's just permanently gone in like 3 months, which is a huge problem for discoverability, obviously. Like, if you wanted to go and watch like a certain tournament from a while ago, there's just tournaments you can't really watch anymore because no one uploaded a VOD for them. At least on the player's POV with like the VCs and stuff. And it is criminally easy to make a VODs channel. All you gotta do is just make a YouTube channel, link it to your Twitch account, and then there's literally just a button where you can export VODs to YouTube. I've been doing it for like 2 years on my channel, just because why not, really? Once you've uploaded the VOD to YouTube, another thing you can do is you can just make it like a slightly edited down version. And by edit, I basically just mean you cut out the parts of the scrim where you're just like in the PB room waiting for the matches to start. It's really easy, even if you're like an amateur video editor. Honestly, if you're a top player, that's literally all you need to do. Just upload your scrims and tournaments, and people will watch you if you consistently upload them, right? After you've made like an edited down version, you can also just make other kinds of videos. You could make like solo queue videos. You could make discussion videos, kind of like what I'm doing right now. I know there's this one guy, I don't remember what his name is. I keep getting him on my recommended, who just keeps making X-Rank videos. Just anything interesting or competitive. You don't have to be like the next Chara to make competitive videos. You could just upload X rank if you want. And finally, if you've done all of that, you can also make short form content. I know there's a lot of people who don't like short form content, but it really is like the easiest type of content to make. I mean, half of the difficulty of making like YouTube Shorts videos is just resizing the video in the video editor. But there you go. There's the 5-step guide on how to make Splatoon content, at least for competitive. Now, you don't have to do all of these steps, right? I think just making like edited down versions for YouTube, that's like is really as far as you really need to go. You don't really have to make other types of videos if you don't want to. I mean, that's just a bonus if you're interested in that, right? The problem is there's a lot of people who don't even do step 1 and step 2. So I know not everybody's interested in growing a platform, but it really is just kind of nice to have, you know, just stream solo queue and have like a couple people in your chat. I know it's very fun for me personally. Like when you don't stream and you don't upload stuff, people just don't know who you are, right? Like if you go to like Plus server right now, there's like a bunch of people in like Plus 2 and Plus 3 that I've never even heard of, like in my life. Like there is entire lists of people I could find in this community who are pretty much only like active on either Twitter or Blue Sky. And if that didn't exist, you would literally have no idea who they are. I mean, the benefits of making content are like immediately obvious, right? More people are going to know who you are. I think more people are interested in making content. I've seen a lot of people nowadays, after this discussion just started, talking about uploading, you know, their VODs to a VODs channel, which is very good because I think that's very helpful. Not only to anybody interested in competitive Splatoon or anyone trying to watch like gameplay to get better at the game, but it's also just kind of nice in general to be able to look back at stuff you've done. I mean, I know personally there's a lot of sets that I've played in tournaments that I really wish I had the VOD for. But I think there's also a very obvious benefit for the community as well. Like the more people you have watching your channel or Splatoon competitive content in general, just means the more people that there's going to be in the scene, right? Like there's this kind of like trickle down effect, right? Like imagine if Pro Chara had like 500,000 subscribers. Now, okay, we're a long time away, I think, from anybody in Splatoon having 500,000 subscribers doing competitive content. But imagine if you had 500,000 subscribers, all right? There's 500,000 people obviously interested in the game because otherwise they wouldn't have subbed. But also, you know, those 500,000 people are going to be interested in other stuff, right? Those 500,000 people aren't just going to watch Pro Chara, you know, they're also going to go watch Dude. They're going to go watch Kyo. They're going to go watch Chase, right? They're going to go watch other people. A lot of them are probably going to try Sendo Q. A lot of them are going to like try to play competitive and X rank and maybe tournaments. And maybe one of those players will become a top player themselves. And maybe they'll make content too, which will make it that much more interesting. I think there's a lot more people inspired to do content now after people saw what Pro Chara did when he went from like, you know, 1K barely on the map to like 100,000 subscribers. Literally biggest channel in NA Splatoon right now, at least like competitive wise. So I think there's a lot more people inspired to do that. So if you're thinking about doing it, just start out small, you know, stream some scrims, stream some tournaments, upload it to YouTube so people can watch it on there. You don't have to do a lot of crazy things to be a content creator. You can just upload, you know, basic stuff that you do playing the game normally, right? Like I usually say, the reason I got into streaming is because I played games a lot anyways, so I might as well just stream when I play them. And if you're a top player, it's super easy. You don't even need like a microphone if you don't want to. You can just upload no commentary gameplay and people will just watch because you're a top player. My point is, the more eyes on the scene, the better. Okay, that's something everybody can agree on. I don't care if you're like +1 or if you're div'd 11, right? More eyes on the scene, the better. Obviously, that means more players, more teams, more quality practice, and obviously, technically, more money. Like, could you imagine if someone in like competitive Splatoon had like 10 million subscribers and could just host like $10,000 tournaments? That's kind of like what Ludwig's doing right now for Melee. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, because I know there's not a lot of people that are super into the JP scene, right? But basically every top JP player streams or makes content over there. I think a lot of people know that Melon obviously streamed himself to 5K, but there's also Chocopero, Lobstar, Raymaru. I mean, I could just think of like a bunch of just one tricks, right? Like Odin X, that one H3 guy that keeps popping into my recommended that I don't know the name of. Norishio. I went to Raymaru's Twitter and I saw like his King Cup tweet and I saw one of the people in his post and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go look up that guy. I bet he does content too. And I did, and he does. He only has like 6 videos, but he's making videos and he live streams all the time. Dude, even like the GG boys still stream. Like I saw like a stream of Dynamon reacting to like the King's Cup tournament the other day. The JP scene has this down, okay? I just wish more NA players had that energy. I'm not saying everyone has to be a content creator, because obviously content creation is not for everybody. But I know like 90% of the people in this game have a capture card. So if you're interested in it, you should totally try it out, because it's really easy. I remember I was really worried about playing Splatoon Competitive, because I have a lot of social anxiety, right? So when I went to play Splatoon Competitive, I was kind of worried, right? I was like, I don't know how I'll be in a team environment. But I saw ProChara scrim highlights. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna watch some of these ProChara scrim highlights, and maybe I'll like kind of understand how scrims work a little better. And I watched a bunch of those videos, and it really helped prepare me for what scrims were like. And when I did my first scrim, and it was like, oh, this is just what all scrims are like. Okay, cool, not that big of a deal. Like, that pretty much is the reason I'm here right now, because if I didn't watch those videos, who knows if I ever would have took the plunge to actually play scrims and tournaments and whatever. And if you're thinking like, oh, my content isn't good enough or whatever, I'm not good enough to make content or something like that, I just want to leave you on this specific story, okay? I made a big Splatoon 1 video the other week, and that video almost never even got made. The only reason that video even exists is because the week before then, I was trying to get this program work called WinEcolog. If you watch my Splatoon video, you know what it is. It's a program that just uploads your stats from Splatoon 1 to stat.inc. But I couldn't get it to work. It just wasn't working. And I tried like 4 times at this point. I went to YouTube and I just searched Ecolog into the search bar, and I found this video from 2016 by this Japanese player of him just recording a random Splatoon 1 game, and he had Ecolog in his description. It's just like an S+ ranked game, and he had his stat inc linked in the description, so I clicked on it, and sure enough, this guy had a bunch of stats uploaded to his Splatoon 1 page. And seeing that, I was like, you know what, that guy got it to work, I'm gonna get it to work too, you know? And that whole situation gave me a huge boost to play Splatoon 1, which ended up with me making that big Splatoon 1 tutorial video. That video would have never happened if it wasn't for this random Japanese guy uploading this video that doesn't even have like 10 views on YouTube. I think it just kind of goes to show you really have no idea what could happen when someone watches your video. I mean, I'm not going to say some crazy thing's going to happen if some guy watches your video, but hey, you never know. Someone could watch your video and then turn into the next ProChara. You never know. My point is, making content is very important. I don't think the Splatoon scene will ever truly die as long as there's people making videos about it, because there's always going to be more interest in it. Now, I don't read every Japanese tweet, so I'm sure it's a discussion somewhere, but I don't really see this big, like, Splatoon 3 is dying thing happening in Japan. Now, obviously, they just had, like, King's Cup, so... But even before, I was never really seeing this, like, big amount of negativity. I feel like the NA scene always goes through this, like, if something's not happening, it's, like, all doomer mode. I think a lot of these problems, like not enough practice or people just not streaming or whatever, it can also just be solved with more people getting into the scene, which I think also can be solved by just making more videos, right? Like, could you imagine if we had like 5 different 100,000 sub content creators making videos? And that'd be a huge boost to discoverability in Splatoon 3. So if you're at all interested, just make videos. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Welcome to another episode of, I guess, Lappy's Thoughts. Was that what I called the last one? Again, it is my birthday, so if you like this video, you should totally sub. If you didn't like it, share it to someone else so they can watch it and hate on me too. Just make sure they watch it long enough for the mid-roll ads to play. I'm just kidding, this channel is not monetized. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya!